Dexter Season 8 episode review video. Before I get into that, pretty important, if you're not caught up to point where I am and you're watching Dexter, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be Dexter Season 8, Episode 7. The title of this episode is called Dress Code. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode, which was a few days ago. Dexter wakes up next to some rocks by the lake. Vogel calls and tells Dexter Zach Hamilton called her and she's glad that he didn't go through with killing him. Dexter talks about Hannah drugging both he and Deb. If she poisoned us, why didn't she kill us? Deb doesn't want to deal with this. She wants Hannah gone. Zach Hamilton comes by Dexter's place. Dexter says not to come to his home ever again. Zach has so many questions for Dexter, and Dexter will answer as many of them as he can, but just not now. Cassie and Oliver with a quick cameo to say hi. Elway sees that Deb was looking up Hannah McKay. Elway tells Deb next to show some gratitude instead of being a fucking bitch. Wow. Deb got put in her place. Bad. Dexter gets the info of Hannah's vehicle. Guess she goes by Maggie now. Jamie mentions something to Quinn about getting a place together. Nikki tells Masuka her debt is her problem and she'll deal with it. Dexter finds Hannah with what he thinks is someone to protect her. Dexter follows Hannah and her mystery guy to the Red Coral Club. Dexter calls Zach and he's actually able to get Dexter in there. Dexter goes to talk with Hannah, but again, it's Maggie now. Yet, she hasn't changed her appearance. Dexter better leave before her husband returns. She's married. Miles is the adventurous type. Miles knows that Dexter turned her into the police. Miles is loaded. Dexter finds out while doing some research. Deb stops by and tries to get Harrison's attention, but Harrison is into his show. Dexter tells Deb that Hannah is married and Miles is worth $700 million and she's staying on his yacht. More negative talk about Hannah from Deb. Harrison hears the name Hannah and it piques his interest from the show he's watching. Hannah is here? Where is Hannah? She's on a big boat with her husband. We come to find out that Nikki works at a topless sports bar. Well, that's a great place for her. Deb talks to Vogel about Dexter thinking with the wrong head. Yeah, that head. Hannah knows too much. Dexter says he needs to get Hannah alone in a situation he can control. Zach and his lawyer come to the station and they tell Batista and Quinn and basically everybody in the office, including Matthews, to back the fuck off as Quinn had been following Zach Hamilton. Batista says let it go. That's an order. And then Quinn, because of this, tells him that him and Jamie are moving in together. Well, at least we thought they were going to. Masuka gets Batista to agree to a lab assistant, part-time one. Looks like Nikki may have another job where she doesn't have to take her clothes off. Dexter tells Zach to control his urges. He's going to teach Zach how to be careful. He's going to teach Zach the code. Dexter again meets up with Hannah at her greenhouse, and all the plants at her greenhouse have died. Hannah is very upset by this. Hannah says Miles makes her happy. Hannah said initially she wanted Dexter to kill Miles, but Hannah has changed her mind. Dexter was the one for her, and he's the only person she can be honest with. Dexter says it was the same for him. Deb asks Elway for a high-tech GPS tracker. Deb tells Elway you don't want to get involved with her because Elway obviously likes Deb and wants a little bit more from her and wants her to show some fucking gratitude. Deb puts the tracker on Dexter's vehicle. Cassie sees him do it. Cassie mentions that Jamie thinks Dexter isn't over his ex-girlfriend, which of course she's referring to Hannah. Deb tells Cassie to stick with the guy that's interested in her. Dexter is not the mystery that you want to solve. Nikki tells Masuka that she makes way more money at the topless sports bar versus $13.75 an hour as a lab assistant at Miami Metro. He says she's not going to become a stripper, or she says that she's not going to become a stripper. Dexter is jumped and beat up by guys in the suit. He figures Miles knows that he and Hannah saw each other yesterday. He wonders what he'll do to Hannah. Zach Hamilton goes to Dexter's place and nobody's answering. Cassie says it looks like he's not home. Can I give him a message? And Zach says, fuck him. Miles confronts Hannah about seeing Dexter at the greenhouse. Miles hurts Hannah. Miles says they are going to leave. Dexter shows up on the yacht, and Miles is dead. And Hannah is sitting next to him. She didn't mean for it to happen this way. We need bleach, bags, and an axe, or something to cut with, he tells Hannah. Dexter says it's going to be okay, he tells Hannah. Dexter dumps Miles' body in the water. As Deb sees Dexter and Hannah together from afar, Hannah asks Dexter if he wished that he'd ever had fallen through with killing her, and Hannah says she doesn't enjoy this sort of thing, but Dexter obviously does. Dexter has to go to a crime scene at his apartment. He tells Hannah not to leave before they talk again. Someone has killed Cassie. Oliver is really upset, but seriously, spoiler alert, isn't it obvious that Oliver did this? Even though they tried to make us think that Zach Hamilton did it. I called it the very first time I watched this episode in 2013. Or no, was it 2014? One of the 2 years. Anyway, Dexter wonders if Zach Hamilton did the murder while he was with Hannah McKay. Will it always be, or I should say, will it always end the same way, like this? Someone dying as the episode ends. So, interesting episode of Dexter. I like it. Hannah makes the show 1,000 times more interesting. My score of the episode is going to be an 8.4 out of 10. My male character of the episode, I could go a couple different ways with this, but I'm going to go with Vince Masuka on this one. My female character of the episode, I'm not sure. I want to give it to Hannah, but then you also have Nikki, who looked very good at the sports bar when she was all made up. I did like that, but I think Hannah should be the character of the episode, even though she didn't show her tits. And then we had a couple of characters actually die in this episode. We had Miles, who didn't necessarily meet Dexter's code, but maybe he did in the long run, as a villainous character on the show for one episode, who actually was in Arachnophobia. I'm going to give Miles a 6.2 out of 10. And then we lost Cassie, who really showed a lot of interest in Dexter. Unfortunately, that interest wasn't given back to her. I'm going to give Cassie a 4.5 out of 10. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Dexter or Dexter New Blood and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider smashing that like button. It actually goes a long way. Gets more people to see the video. Don't forget to share this video with anybody that you know, or put this video on one of your social media platforms. Sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Dexter. What would you score the episode? Who would be your male? Who would be your female character of the episode? You can rate our two deaths in the episode, Miles and Cassie. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out my original review of this episode. It should be somewhere over here. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.